this video, I'm going to talk about one of the tools available within PowerCat Tools model-driven app named as API Playground. Now, if you don't know what PowerCat tool is, PowerCat tool is basically a set of tools created by the PowerCat team at Microsoft. This particular tool or the tool set allows or aids the development process within the Power Platform environment. The tool is helpful mostly for developers who will get a ready-made tool set which will allow them to perform security scan, which will allow them to test the API, which will allow them to monitor the plugins, and there is a set of tool which can generate documentation, AI documentation on the fly. Now, if you want to install, you can navigate to github.com, Microsoft PowerCat tools, and then from releases, you can go ahead and update, you can install the managed solution within the Power Platform. Now, once you do that, you will be presented with a solution which is of managed type. And here you will find apps, a model driven app named as PowerCat Tools. Now, once you click on PowerCat Tools, you'll be navigated to the homepage, and then the homepage will basically give you information about the various tools and how you can use that tools. There are a couple of featured kits like Gopal Studio Kit and Creator Kit also present within the application. Now, I've already covered review tool, AI documentation tool, SS risk tool, and now I'm going to cover API Playground tool. Now, API Playground tool, as the word indicates, API application programming interface. Now, this particular tool, if you remember, there is a tool named as Postman. You can relate some of the feature set within this tool as similar to the Postman, but it is not comprehensive as a Postman tool, but it will allow you to perform various operations which some of the capabilities within Postman tool will not be able to provide. Now, custom API. Now, there are three segments over here: custom API, O data request, and low code instant plugin. Now, these are all different ways to access the data. Okay. Now, custom API. So, if you can access the data through an API, you can access the data through just by providing O data request. And here, if you have already built an instant plugin using low code, you can invoke that. You can test your low code instant plugin. Right. So, let me go one by one. Let me show you what is a custom API tool within the API playground. Now here, if I click on create, it will invoke a, it will basically, it will show you a screen which will allow you to make that selection. Now custom API is the tag over here. And the instruction says enter a request, then click send to get a response. So we need to enter a request over here, click on send. Now, when I select a custom API, these are the set of API which is currently available within the Power Platform environment. Okay. Now, there are a whole bunch of APIs which are currently available, like begin machine image provisioning, delete instant plugin, add to feedback loop, list child flows. So let's pick up one of this, list child flows. Now, once you select it, you will be presented with a set of query parameters. Now, anything which is tick mark over here, ticked, you have to fill that value. Okay, this is like not an optional parameter. Similarly, if I select any other API request, like say question analytics, I will see more parameters. Okay, now as you see that these are the things which I need to fill, which is ticked. Rest all is kind of an optional field to fill. What are the things which we see over here? Like these are all available within a specific environment. So there is a send app notification. So if you want to test by invoking the send app notification API request, you can do that over here. So you can specify the toast type, you can specify the override content by providing the unique ID. You can provide what action do you want. You can specify the body, you can specify the priority, you can specify the unique ID of the recipient. So all these things can be done without even relying on any other tool. Now, if you go into any other things, like say there are a whole bunch of things as you see over here: save as desktop flow, get index info, grant delegate access, clear work queue, cancel the desktop flow run. So you can also cancel the desktop flow run which is currently running. So if I select that, you just need to specify which session you want to terminate, click on it, click on send, and then that particular session will be terminated. And we have AI sentiment, AI extract. You can even create an entity. So as you see over here, create entity, and here you can, it is as good as you're creating that particular content over here. So you specify the connection info, sample data, preview data, and all these parameters, and then you will be able to create that. So let me take one example. So let me go into AI sentiment over here, and here this basically triggers a model, an AI model, and it will give you the output of the sentiment. Okay. Now in AI sentiment, I would say I am feeling happy about PowerCat tools advancement. Okay, so this is a simple statement. Now if you want to know the sentiment of it, you can ready-made use make use of this ready-made API, and if I click on send, it will give me the sentiment whether it is positive or negative. Now by the looks of it, this looks positive, and then it has given me analyze sentiment as positive. And if I just make it, I'm feeling sad about AI taking over jobs. Okay, click on send, and it is giving me the sentiment as negative. So this is how you can play around with the existing API request or the any API request which you build using this interface. Okay, and it will give you a nice response over here. So the response is like it's like a HTTP request which you send. It'll give you the status 200 okay because everything is fine. It took 1165 millisecond, and the size of the payload was 120 bytes. You can even copy this information. Now, other thing what we can do is like there is another AI API request called as AI reply. So take for example, if you're chatting with a bot, okay, you're just chatting with a bot, and I would just say, this is an awesome text. Can you please help me in analyzing it? So take for example, if you're having a conversation with a bot and bot has given you some text and you're just typing, oh, this is an awesome text. Can you please help me in analyzing it? Okay. Now I'm just going in the middle of the conversation, and this particular information will be passed to the AI reply. It will connect with the model, and then it will start giving you the response. Now I also don't know what response this particular uh, statement is going to get. So click on send and see. Now it will go to the model will check, and then model will say, okay, thank you for your positive feedback. I would be happy to help you analyze the text. Please provide specific aspect you would like to focus on, such as theme, structure, or any particular questions you have in mind. Now, as you see over here, this has gone into that model. It has crafted that response and took that context, and it has given me the reply, right? So this is all about AI reply model. So you can even test that particular thing over here. Now there are other things related to administrator as well. So there is a retrieve environment variable secret value, and we have something called as I'll say retrieve environment variable for CS, retrieve finance, retrieve custom roles API. So if I click on retrieve custom roles API, now this API request does not need any parameter. So I'll just click on send, and it will list down all the custom roles within my system. Now, as you see, I have created a custom security role called as airline admin, airline manager, airline read. Now, just to confirm, go into a Power Platform environment and go to the specific environment, go to the security role. And if you search by, say, airline, you will see all the custom role which I have created. And this is the set of custom role which is created. And those things are being spitted out by this particular execution of the API request. So this is how you can test the API playground. Now let's go back. Now we have just seen the first part, the custom API. Now let's go into the OData request. So OData request is basically simplified request construction for seamless interaction with the Dataverse web API. So if I click on create over here, it will allow me to specify, like in the postman interface, the verb. Environment URL, it is already uh, identified because I'm in Girish dev environment and this app is installed over there. And here we need to specify the metadata. And once we are done with it, click on send. Now remember, this is an O data request. Now there are other verbs which we can use: get, post, patch, put, and delete. Now let's use a simple example, get. Now what are we going to get? Simple example would be a contacts table, right? So if I just type in contacts, okay, so I'm just typing contacts. I can even specify the parameters and the body over here, but I can even add an additional parameter. So I can go ahead and click on additional parameter, but currently I don't want any parameter. I'll just um, specify contacts and click on send. Now it will send out a request and it has given me the output. So as you see, the time it took 1221 ms and size is 15 bytes. Now if you scroll down, it has given me list of all the contacts within my table. Now how do you verify that, or is there any alternative way through which you can go into the contacts? Yes, I will go into the backend table. So I'll go to make.powerapps.com, and within that, if I navigate to the contacts table, and then from there I will show you how to do that. So let me go back to the tables. Sorry, I clicked the wrong link. So if I just type in contact, and if I go into the contact table over here, now here if I click on this icon, here's the API link to table data. So if I click on API link to table data, we get whole bunch of information, right? These are the set of contacts within my dataverse. If you see the output over here, this is what we are getting, right? That the same JSON file. So this is how you can create that new request. Okay, now similarly, if you go into the other table, say accounts, you can do the same operation, accounts, and then it will send out a request and it will give you the information. Now as you see, I've got this account, and then there are a whole bunch of account, as you see from the list over here. Now that's about O data request, just passing out. So you can even do post, patch, put, delete as well. I've just given you a simple example. Now that's about API playground or data request. Let's go into low code instant plugin. Now invoke a low code instant plugin within Dataverse. Now this also I will show you an example. What do you mean by that? Now remember, in Power Platform you can create your own plugin, right? Now you might be familiar with something called as a power effects function. Okay, so if you go to new and under automation, you will see something called as fx function. So you can create functions, right? Now I've already created a couple of functions over here. Now as you see, there are three functions which I've created in this particular solution, like gadd, gtab, gtable expression. And if you want to see the expression, you can see the corresponding expression of that function. Now, why I'm giving you this reference is because if you go to low code instant plugin, once you create that within a solution, you can actually test it over here. So select an instant plugin. So we'll pick up G tab. Okay. Now gtab is a plugin. Gtab is a function which I have created, which has been created as a part of the instant plugin infrastructure. Now it asks for two operators, op1 and op2. So operand 1 and operand 2. Now I'll say operand 1 is 34 and operand 2 is 44. Okay. Now if I click on send, it will give me the response back. Now the response which I was expecting is doing some operations within that particular function. Now as you see over here, it has given me whole bunch of output. Now it is out, env, ab, add. So it has given me the addition, it has given me the multiplication, it has given me the division, and then there are a couple of date items which I might have created in that particular function. So gtab. Similarly, if I go to g add, let's see, again it will ask for two parameter 1 and 2. Let me 3 and 5 and click on send, and the output is 8. So this is a simple example. So the whole purpose of this particular video is just to show you how to use the things which you have already created and test it. Okay, So there are a whole bunch of other things which you can use. Now here, I have created anything which is in G, I have created, and there are other things which I have created as a custom. But there are inbuilt instant plugin as well, like send in-app notification. So if you see here, send in-app notification. Again, here you can specify body, action URL, title, action title, email, and then that notification can be tested over here. So you need not rely on third-party tool like XRM Toolbox, but in this particular API playground, you can even test all this functionality. So that's it, folks. This is all about API playground. I would advise and I would highly recommend this tool for the developers to test the custom API or data request and low code instant plugin. Thanks for watching.